We're live.
Hey guys, what's up? Kyle Hunt Fitness. Heading to the gym to my weekly bro session.
Haha.
My weekly. Alright, so once a week I do basically just the upper body hypertrophy workout with the pregnant girlfriend behind the camera because she really only trains about once a week now at this stage in her pregnancy. So we just go pretty much just do an upper body hypertrophy workout. So all my other days are strength / CrossFit based, and then once a week I do this. Going to do some heavy overhead presses to start, and then after that, that's the only thing I really have in mind. These are more of like a freestyle workout, and just see how it feels. And we'll probably do an exercise for chest. You know, something for each muscle group. We'll do something for chest, something for back, something for maybe some arms. Probably just triceps though, because I don't do biceps. Oh, I don't do biceps.
We're doing biceps.
Maybe some hammer curls, or we'll do some strict
Thighs for the guys?
No, strict hang cleans. Alright. But the real plus I'm sipping on some C4.
Yeah, where'd you get that?
My favorite flavor of C4. Fruit punch. It's actually the only flavor I really like.
That's bullshit.
What's bullshit?
I've seen you drink other flavors.
Well, just because I drink other flavors doesn't mean I love them or enjoy them. Fruit punch is my favorite.
I don't know anyone who drinks something they don't think tastes good, at least. A little bit.
If it's caffeine, I'll drink shit if it's caffeine.
Okay, really?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. We'll test that.
I'd drink some piss if it had caffeine in it.
I don't believe it.
Maybe not.
I'll mix little cat's piss with some coffee and we'll see if you'll drink it.
Alright. My point is, that whole box of samples, pretty much every flavor, and the only ones I drink are fruit punch.
Yeah, well that's your favorite.
No, that's what I mean. It's my favorite. It's the one that I really like.
Your boy's on the radio.
Huh?
Your boy's on the radio.
I better turn that shit down or this video will get
Flag.
Flag. Alright, so here's my vlog for this video. Talking about shit coaches. And alright, if you follow me on Twitter, you'll probably occasionally notice I'll tweet something, or even on Instagram. Both of those are just at HuntFitness. Sometimes I do talk a little shit. So sometimes you'll notice that I will talk shit on other coaches. And I really hate doing it. Because, well, I mean, think of it this way. I mean, we all have to start somewhere. And obviously, you can't expect everybody in the industry to be held up to super high standards. And that's a problem with me just in general. Sometimes I expect a lot out of people, and that can be just in anything. And you can't always expect everybody in the industry to be held up to your standards. And sometimes just little things will set me off. And a lot of times, it's not so much anymore, but in the past, it would be maybe just something as simple as someone posting something about flexible dieting on how it doesn't work, or, no pros do it, or it wouldn't work for me, or, whatever the people say. And then, I would have to respond with, well, actually, a lot of pros do use it. And yes, it would work for you because you're not some special person that science wouldn't affect. But I mean, I don't really do that anymore because really it's just, I've written enough about flexible dieting. Guys like Lane Norton, Alberto Nunez, they've, 3D muscle training, other people have put out enough information. There's enough information on flexible dieting to where it's not a new concept. If you are in the fitness industry and you are still saying flexible dieting does not work, or if it fits your macros does not work, and are not validating that, you are behind the times. Like, I would understand, like, a couple years ago, that'd be okay. Yeah, all right, it's a newer thing, and if you don't follow people who are forward thinking and don't follow people like that, then yeah, it would be something that you might not believe works. But right now, there's no excuse for it. There's no excuse at this point with the amount of information that's available to still say stuff like that. But that's one aspect of where sometimes I'll talk shit. The second is people, because there's not a lot of standards in the fitness industry, anybody feels like they're a coach, and anybody feels like they are qualified to help other people. And again, this is something that I don't care that much, because hey, I'm an entrepreneur, and I have nothing against people trying to make money and people starting online coaching businesses or online personal training. I have no problem with that, because hell, that's how I started. I just, when I first started, if myself, like me today, if I saw myself at 18 when I first started, I would say, hey, you don't have any business coaching anybody. And at that time, I probably didn't. And I knew, I've always been a student of this game, of this industry, and always tried to learn as much as possible. And I knew more at 18 than probably 90% of the coaches out there do today. And that was, almost 5 years ago. And a lot of information came out in that time. But, back then I would say that, the stuff I was saying was still, the top people in the industry were still saying that. But anyway, so where I have an issue is, more recently, I think...
Slow down, they're breaking.
Yeah, I know. As I become, I don't know, I don't want to say more well-known, or I don't even really want to say that, but more, like my services become more, I don't know, held at a higher standard. I get a lot of people coming to me from other coaches. Like, I always had that, but not to the degree I do now. I would say at least probably 25% of my clients that compete start out with another coach, and then they have to ditch that coach, and then they're coming to me to finish their prep or finish their reverse diet, whatever they're doing, because they realize they hired someone who does not know what the fuck they're doing. And then they realize their metabolism is crashed. And it happens a lot with females. I had a female recently just come up to me, or just seek out my services, who's basically been pretty much dieting on no calories and 2 hours of cardio a day. And I know that's kind of like the cliche thing to say, oh, too much cardio and too low of calories, but people still do it. And I know how it happens too. And it's not the coach's fault. They just don't understand metabolism. They don't really know how the body works. And what happens is, if you don't really, and a lot of it goes to not, I hate to pick on clean eaters, but a lot of times it's people who just give out meal plans of clean foods. Because what do you do when the person hits a plateau? You just take out foods. You just eliminate foods, and you, with no real consideration to macronutrients, and they're probably not super accurate to begin with, and it sets itself up for failure. And then before you know it, when you do that, you give someone a meal plan, and then a couple weeks down the road, they hit a roadblock. So what do? You take out some foods or whatever, and then you do that 3 or 4 times, and before you know it, they have the person on 800 calories a day and doing 2 hours of cardio, and then their metabolic capacity is 0, and then they gain 30 pounds within 2 weeks after their show. It's so easy to get people to hire you. People are, if you have a good physique and you've competed before, I feel like to some people that's all it takes, and they'll hire you. And you really don't have any knowledge of what you're doing. A lot of times, a lot of these people don't even know what they don't know, because they're not reading research. So they're not following the right people. They're not constantly learning. And you find out what happens is, these people that are hiring them, they feel like, they're not going to question it, because they feel like you have a better physique than they do, so they just automatically assume you know what's going on. But there's a disconnect there between how someone looks and their knowledge, and that's not always a direct correlation there. I feel like there's a big disconnect in this industry there's a select group of people who are in the know, so to speak, and do everything right, and are pretty much know what they're doing. And then there's a huge chunk of people that just, the other side of the industry, that just don't. And a lot of them are people who've been in the industry for a longer time, and they're, because old habits die hard. I always say that, but it's true. And then you almost have like 3 groups of people now. I found this like new group starting to pop up recently. You have like the people who know what's going on, the people who don't, who are probably just still selling meal plans, which is ridiculous. And you have this like middle group. And this new group of people are the people that claim, they make the claim, they're like, oh yeah, I diet people on macros. Yep, I do macro diets. But then when you really talk to them or read anything that they say or write, they really have absolutely no idea of the concept of macronutrients. And they still say things like, you gotta eat 8 meals a day, and these are muscle building foods, and bullshit like that. So I guess this whole ramble is this is just a big ramble. Hope you guys, hopefully,
it's gonna be a long video.
I know. Hopefully you enjoyed the training clips during this. I guess the point is, not everybody is. It's hard. It's hard for me to understand how there's no. I guess there's no excuse for a lack of knowledge now. We live in a very interesting time where right now there is more information available to us as a society than ever has been in the history of the world. You have all the information known to man in your pocket, in your cell phone. You just Google it. So if you are in this industry, there is absolutely no excuse not to be read up on shit. So there's no excuse for a lack of knowledge. And if someone said, when people are talking bad on like flexible dieting or fit your macros, and they say things like, well, pros don't do it. That's not a fucking argument, okay? That they don't know, they just don't know enough about the topic to discuss it, but they choose to comment about it regardless. And that just, it's makes people look dumb. Well, whoa. We're almost to the gym, so I think this video's over.
Obviously, pros do it.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's definitely pros who follow flexible dieting. I mean, there's not a lot of IFBB pros. There's a lot of natural pros, though. All right, guys. Till next time. Peace.